Over the last few days, we've been covering the leaks of Modern Warfare 4. We covered the leaks in its entirety. We've covered certain topics that have been missing from it, and there's still probably a little bit more to uncover. But now, one of our more recent videos where we talked about the Shadow Company and its absence from the leaks, that garnered some attention. And then we started talking about who else could be missing in the comments. A lot of you guys mentioned Alejandro Vargas, Valeria Garza, Rodolfo Parra, Los Vaqueros, El Sin Nombre, Mexico. You know, we started talking about all these different things. And a lot of you guys were commenting on how Los Vaqueros and Alejandro Vargas were some of the best additions to Call of Duty in a long time, or how they were some of the best additions in Modern Warfare 2, just period. And you wanted to see more of them. You wanted to see where they are, what are they doing, how can they help. Now, if Modern Warfare 4 is a big World War 3 type of situation, could we use Los Vaqueros? If we see the dynamic that Modern Warfare 4 seems to be following according to these leaks, and quick disclaimer, I know that these are just leaks. I know that the game is still a year away. I know that a lot can change. You know, the leaks could be absolutely non-existent, very irrelevant, or they could be somewhat accurate. But from what we have, we can build a discussion and have conversations. And that's what we're doing. You know, we're not naive to believe that these leaks are written in stone and they have to happen. But the absence of Los Vaqueros in these leaks makes us wonder once again that maybe none of the Mexican element is going to be in the games. But again, if we jump back a little bit to the point that we were talking about earlier about World War III, could we see the Vaqueros in some shape or form in the game? We could be in Europe with the Special Air Service, Task Force 141 with Captain Price and the guys. In America, in the United States, we can be with the Demon Dogs, Sergeant Griggs, and other American Marines. And then maybe someplace in Mexico and even South America, we could be with Los Vaqueros doing some operations with the Mexican military. We have 3 teams right there that we could jump in between and tackle. And if you want to jump into something else, you also want to include the Shadow Company, then include the Shadow Company, right? But then maybe the game becomes too big and too bloated. Some would argue that the game isn't big enough because we only play as the Special Air Service all the time and we want more. So yeah, could there be a tag team, a teamwork between Los Vaqueros, the Marines, and the Special Air Service? Absolutely. And I think a lot of fans would welcome that. I also think that maybe a faction won't be able to make it because of that, right? If you do want to incorporate them, then maybe the Shadow Company really doesn't have a place in the game. I don't know that you can have all of them and make all of them relevant and still maybe play a little bit as Connie and Makarov. You know, it might be too much to fit in a 6-hour game, 5-hour game, 7-hour game. I don't know. That's usually what Call of Duty lengths are for campaigns. So I don't know that they can incorporate all that much. They would have to move pretty quickly. Obviously, we've already established who Los Vaqueros are, who the Shadow Company is, who the Special Air Service is. So we wouldn't need too much of a background. We can kind of just dive into the action. And so it could work in that way. Another connection that we can have maybe is Valeria, right? Valeria Garza, El Sin Nombre. What has she been up to? What has she been doing? There hasn't been too much conversation around her. We know that she ended up going to Urzikstan for honestly whatever fucking reason, because right now I can't even remember the importance of that. But she went over there. Alejandro chased after her for a little bit. Did he ever catch her? Who freaking knows? Are they back in Mexico? Probably. I would assume so. But you could have Valeria Garza work alongside Vladimir Makarov. You could work alongside her because she wanted that terrorism war to continue, the war on terrorism to continue and to be as strong as ever, because then there's no real war on the drug cartel. And that's what she was kind of alluding to or saying when she wasn't even alluding to it. She point blank said it to Captain Price and Los Vaqueros down in Mexico. And so Valeria has a lot of reason, a lot of motivation to continue this war on terrorism and to aid Makarov. You know, Valeria feels that she's untouchable. And so her working relationship with Makarov and the Connie group can be explored further in Modern Warfare 4. And that way you can bring Los Vaqueros in and make it make sense within the story. And I would honestly say that a lot of people have become big fans of Alejandro, Los Vaqueros, Valeria, and they would probably want to see more of them. Right? They would want to see a lot more of them, and it was disappointing to some that they didn't make any sort of appearance in Modern Warfare 3. But again, Modern Warfare 3 was a disaster, super rushed, and a lot of things were probably missing that we really wanted to see. Look, I also think from maybe financial standpoint, maybe for skins and all that shit that really Call of Duty seems to really be fucking loving and really be paying a lot of attention to, you could probably use more of Los Vaqueros, Alejandro and Valeria and El Sin Nombre skins, and you can probably put a bunch of them out and people are probably going to buy them because they like that aspect. They love Los Vaqueros, they love Valeria. Obviously, Valeria went to this whole thing where people were like fiending over her, thirsting over her. You know what I'm saying? So they're characters that people want to see back. You know, they're popular characters. And so from that standpoint, you could probably see Activision wanting to bring them back. Their exclusion from Modern Warfare 3 also kind of seemed like valid to some folk because they didn't see why or how they would have fit into the plot that we received in Modern Warfare 3. Maybe if we would have let it cook some more, we could have figured a way to bring them in. I don't know. But in Modern Warfare 4, that could be a possibility. Now, the reason that we talked about this at all today was because we didn't see their name in the leaks. So, you know, are they going to be in the game or not? Would it be a mistake for Activision, Call of Duty, Infinity Ward, whatever, to not include Los Vaqueros into the game? I think that there's a high probability that we might actually see them because I don't know how many more Modern Warfare games they're going to want to make. We talked a little bit about this in the Shadows video. It seems like maybe they're reaching the end with the current crop of characters that they have. And so if you're saying goodbye or if you're potentially starting a spin-off game following Modern Warfare 4, do you want to follow Los Vaqueros? Do you want to include them somehow into your future plans? Because Los Vaqueros only really had one game, which was Modern Warfare 2, in comparison to the Special Air Service, who they're going into their fourth game. You know what I'm saying? So is there a possibility that you might want to do something there? I know it's weird, but we don't talk about Los Vaqueros or Valeria as much as you would think that I would in the game. I like them. I'm a fan of them. Some of their missions in Modern Warfare 2 were some of my favorite missions that I've ever played in Call of Duty because they were just kind of fun. They were different. And so I enjoyed their performances and the way that they kind of depicted what kind of like the war looks, you know, when you're looking at Mexico. And so, yeah, I would like to see some of these characters probably return, and I would like to see where they're at. And I'd like to get an update on them. And I'd like to see how they play and how they can help the overall war that may be coming in Modern Warfare 4. Would you like to see Los Vaqueros and Valeria back? Do you think there's a place for them in Modern Warfare 4?